Hello everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. So I've just been kind of figuring out what exactly I'm gonna do today. I've got a lot of exciting projects here ready to be started on. But I've had this idea. I've got this Lwell here. It's a 4.5 pound Lwell, and this was one of my first hangs on the Sheriff. I was going all hand tools, and I remember people were asking for longer handles, so I hung it very high. This is probably from around 2 months ago now, something like that. I had posted it for sale, but I think it's just, I still had it listed up there on my Instagram, but it was, I think our work has moved past this. I remember this being a very good hang, even with just a little bit of proudness that is there. You can see we do still have some mushrooming. So I remember this being quite the good hang, but we're hung high, and it's kind of obvious we're hung high. It's a bit of an awkward looking axe. It's definitely extremely usable. But I just feel we've kind of evolved past this at this point, and it doesn't really feel right to still have it for sale. I mean, someone might end up buying it, and it would serve them very, very well. But I just think we can do better. I think I'm gonna rework this one. Gives us an opportunity to kind of check out how our hangs are going. This wedge looks really, really nice in there, and it looks like it's going to be a bit of a battle to get out, but we'll test that. This is a really nice axe. In the photos, it looks quite thin, but you'd be surprised. This is actually quite the good splitting axe. It's very convex, and it's actually got a chunkier profile than it looks at first glance. It's a wonderful axe, but there's a couple of things. I'd like to drop this down even just another 3/4 of an inch. It'd be nice to kind of bring that down a bit. And then this palm swell, I do like these big blocky palm swells, but I could work this and make it just a little bit better. I think we're gonna redo this axe a little bit. And then I've got this wedge banger that I made. This was in my how to polish an axe head to a mirror. It's all got condensation on it now, but it's a very shiny axe. But this is a rounded pull axe, and I wasn't really thinking when I was hafting it that a flat pull is better for banging wedges than a rounded one. So I also want to grind that flat, repolish it up, and just make it a bit better of a wedge banger before I post it up for sale. It's a lovely, lovely 3.5 pound wedge banger on a Whiskey River 28 handle. I think it finished at 26 or 27 inches. And it's just a nice, well-rounded axe. But I'd like to flatten that out. And then I'm starting to run low on Tassies. I've got a few more coming, but I've got just kind of exciting, unique projects moving forward, probably for the rest of the week. I want to get this one hafted for a friend of Rita and I's. Father's Day's coming up, and this is going to be a Father's Day gift. This little hatchet I'd like to get hafted. I don't know if we're going on the same handle or maybe we're putting it on a new handle. So I got to figure that out, but it's hung upside down. I've got this double bit that someone sent me to get rehung. I've got another double bit on the way. And I've got two more kind of 3.5 pound axes that someone's sending me as well. So I'm going to be busy for the next couple weeks just getting all those things dealt with. But I've got a couple more hatchet handles that are in the mail today. So we'll probably finish the video with a bit of an unboxing. I got hatchet handles, some double bit handles, and then a couple other handles that we'll go through. But I'm gonna go pick those up from the mailbox later today. That's my plan today. I'm feeling busy. I'd like to get these two squared away before I start on anything new. I want to get these to a place where I'm happy with them, feeling good and confident with them, and ready to sell and move on to the next owner. I'm not sure which one we'll start with, but we'll get started right away. Thank you so much for being here. I'm extremely, extremely grateful, and I love you guys. Let's just get right into this. First order of business is getting this wedge banger all squared away. I'm gonna start with the belt grinder because it does have this hardback, flat surface. I love this belt grinder. It's been extremely good for me. It's the best money I've spent in this whole business, hands down. But this thing never wants to sit perfectly straight. I struggle with it on the wedges. It always wants to go on an angle. So we'll do our best to try and get this flat. but we'll start with this, and then we might end up having to kind of free ball it with our angle grinder instead. But let's see what we can do with this. We're gonna want something coarse for sure. When I first put some 36 grit from Combat, this stuff's real thick belts, and it wouldn't want to go. It wouldn't go for me. I was having to kind of like jump start it while it was running and just get it kind of going. But now it's sanded. It has sanded a place for itself, and now it works okay. This is my issue. How to get it to line up straight. Like, is it almost like that? No. Getting there. I think we were able to get it quite straight. It's throwing me off a bit, but at least if I line it up with the letters here, like the same kind of distance between, you know, the top of the letter to here and, you know, the top of that letter to there and all vice versa. I'm kind of using that as my gauge and just the old eyeball, and it looks quite good. Something's telling me that the top is still sticking out further. I think I've got to take a bit more from the top, and then I'm going to work into the higher grits. I'm going to go with the belt grinder still here, while I still have that back hard surface. I can do less grinding with my rotary because that's all just freehand and kind of harder to keep consistent if I'm really going into the lower grits. So we'll do that. We'll see how it goes. I think I got to take a little more from the top, push it back a little bit more. But I think we're fairly close. I'm gonna head over now to the vise and we'll finish it up. Shouldn't take us too long, but I think that's a lot better. And there we are. Now, a much better, much more usable wedge banger. Still shiny, well-rounded profile. It's just a nice little axe, and now it'll do the do the job even better. I was even able to save the Union tool co, just able to save that while keeping this straight, and came out quite nice. Love the polished pull look. I actually polished this handle too a while ago. It's got a nice sheen to it. Just a very nice little axe. Cool, cool. Well, first job of the day is done. Now I think we probably get started on the Lwell. Should we? I think we should. It'd be nice to just test out the haft anyways, right? Just by popping it off. And it's such a lovely axe, but I think because it looks kind of skinny and because it was hung high, it's just people haven't bid on it, and it's honestly, I get it. It's not quite up to my standards anyways. You know, looks wise, utility wise, I think it's still, it's great utility wise, but I think I can flam it up a bit, make it look a little sharper. So let's get started on that, I guess. I remember this one being a bit of a burden to get straight, and I've got it dead straight. That, I would say that's the only thing that's making me be like, that's kind of making me want to hold back on doing this, but I think we should. And I want to rehang it on the same handle. I don't know if I made that clear before, but I don't want to, there's nothing wrong with this handle. I've used this axe and absolutely loved using it. It grabs wood nice, it splits, it doesn't get stuck, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with this handle. So, in saying all of that, any second doubts? I am second guessing myself a bit. It's kind of a cool axe. But we've evolved, haven't we? I think we've evolved. Let's do it. We'll see if it budges like this. That's not budging. Let's go over to the vise. It's not really moving. That's a good sign. This usually can get it to move. Okay, I'm not absolutely wailing on it because I don't actually want to do it this way, but that shows me that my haft was very good on this one because it is holding up. Okay, it's safe to say I thoroughly regret my decision. I should have just left it, maybe tweaked the palm swell a bit and just left it. but lessons had to be learned. I just put on a bigger drill bit and just drilled it. I gotta blow this out, but I don't. We'll investigate, but I don't know if we're gonna be able to reuse this handle now. This is just terrible. I'm trying to get this thing out. I'm ruining my tool here. I'm ruining my shoulder. It's kind of rough, but I'll keep on going. I'm committed now. I gotta knock it off this handle. But yeah, I don't know if we'll be able to reuse that baby. What do you got to say about that? Just a little bit of drilling, eh? Just a bit. Not bad. Jeez, man. So that was just the definition of an epic fail, a waste of time, and a waste of money, and a waste of effort. So, is what it is. Really wishing I just left it at this point. But it is what it is. Granted, no, it's done. That's too bad. Worst part is I actually liked that axe. I actually liked using that axe. Even though it was longer and kind of weirder. I actually really liked that axe, so that was just such a waste. I don't know why I did that. Oops. When I get some more sheriffs in, I will rehang this and kind of do it the justice it deserves, because it is a wonderful axe. Yeah, just an epic fail. You guys want to? Maybe we should just go grab those hatchet handles and stuff. Okay, we got them. I think that looks all right. Okay. So we've got some handles. These are from Whiskey River. Whiskey River Trading, Whiskey River handles. I use their handles from time to time. Everyone knows, it's not a surprise, my favorite handles are Buchan's handles. But Buchan doesn't have a double bit handle. He doesn't have hatchet handles. He doesn't have the same options that like Whiskey River has. So I like to place orders every once in a while, and it's nice to mix up between the companies. Nice little handwritten message in there. That's nice. Luke, enjoy your handles and wedges. So that's nice. That's very nice. I'll be honest, I had some of these Purple Heart wedges. They were like in my cart from a long time ago, and I made this purchase for these handles and everything during Whiskey River's 30C, a C30 sale. And the website was honestly, it was so glitchy, and I mean, I was very excited about them, but they were in my cart and I couldn't really like edit it. So I picked them up anyways. I think there's like 5 of these in here, and they look like very, very nice wedges. They're hard, you can tell they're dry, and they're nice and big. So that's awesome. They send you some other wedges here. I wonder what kind of wedges those are. I don't know what kind of wedges these ones are, but they're nice and they will come in handy for sure. C30, grade A, very nice. Dead straight, straight as a bone. That's always nice. Awesome. I like those handles. Another C30, grade A, straight up and down, straight as a bone, with a lovely bit of heartwood in there. can't complain with that. And I think I've got one more of those maybe. Straight up and down grain. Awesome. These are super nice handles. They've been around for a long time. They're kind of known as Whiskey River's like specialty handle, I believe. It's their most popular handle from what I understand. And a lot of people really like them. They make some really cool axes. I hung this baby, the beveled St. Catherine's Tassie on a C30, and it came out quite nice. So they're nice handles. Now for the double bits. This is a grade B, but honestly still really nice grain. It's straight. Bit of weirdness actually in this one. Yeah, there's a bit of bulging here, but that's fine. I'm gonna end up thinning these out anyways. No complaints. A grade A with the same kind of grain orientation. And it looks like they all kind of have that bit of a bulging there, but I'm not too picky about that. I like to work on my handles anyways, so no complaints. This one's got heartwood on there. Love that. This is a grade B with also great grain orientation. So who would have thought the grade B would be probably my favorite handle in here. Beautiful. Another grade B with some nice heartwood in there. That is beautiful. Pretty much straight up and down grain. Minimal run out. That's a beautiful handle. I'm happy with those. And one more. This is a grade A. Full sapwood, straight up and down. Beautiful as well. And yeah, they all got a bit of weirdness, but not a problem to me. Oh my. Holy. Wow. I ordered these 28 NECs for bucking. I think I've still got one left. And do I have any axes? No. I've sold the axes that I had them on. They're super nice as like a chopping axe or just a small splitting axe handle. Super nice. Fairly straight, beautiful heartwood. But yeah, I bought 3 of these for bucking, and they are, of course he gets the full heartwood ones. So, very nice. He's gonna be ecstatic. But we can't forget about these. Even some little baby wedges for the hatchets. That's awesome. But I got 2 16-inch ones and a 14-inch one. Both are very nice. They're thin already. Very cool handles. Either way, I think I'm gonna close up shop now for the day. We had one successful axe with that wedge banger, one completely unsuccessful fix with Lwell. You can't win them all. So I think that's gonna be today's video. I gotta go bring over these handles to bucking, but thanks so much for being here. Thanks for watching another one of my episodes. I love you guys very much. I appreciate you, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.